Welcome, everyone. A very warm good evening to all of you. So, today we are going to talk about a very important topic of shame and guilt. And in these open conversations, open discussions, we keep it interactive. We try that we all engage with each other. We get to know each other's perspectives. You can also ask your question whenever you feel that you have any kind of question, or you can share your stories or experiences when you overcome any such thing, any story. So welcome to all of you. So when it comes to guilt and shame, so guilt and shame are not just things which are concerned with big things of life. Like it doesn't have to be like you have to commit a crime and then you will get into the feeling of guilt and shame, but it's rather actually something which comes out from our regular day to day life. And we will explore that in more detail, that how it's very natural and normal in the kind of society that we live in, where guilt and shame are actually considered more normal. So we will talk a little bit more about that later. But if you remember your childhood, right? So a lot of times it's very natural and it's very common, not natural, I would say common, that we hear parents saying that you're a bad boy, you're a bad girl, or you leave the room, you don't stay here, don't show me your face, you did this wrong, and you are not this, not that, and all kinds of labels that happen with us as a child, right? And when that is happening to us as a child, what the child feels that, oh, I'm a bad boy or I'm a bad girl. So for me, because as children, as humans, we all want to have a connection with our parents, our family members. We all want to be loved, we all want to love them, we want to express it. But then there is something that is told to us, the way we are brought up in the society, that for you to get acceptance, for you to get love, for you to get all of these your basic needs met, you first have to behave in a certain way, maybe talk in a certain way, sit in a certain way, do things in a certain way, right? And every time these kind of things were told to us, so it can differ. The levels of guilt and shame can differ from people to people. Maybe some parents did it, it was more gruesome. With some people, it was of a little less intensity. But we all have gone through it. And we are not saying that there's a need to eliminate it, because even if we try, we cannot completely eliminate this thing all over. Yes, if we bring awareness to these things, definitely these things can be minimized. But without awareness, the kind of era we all are coming from, and our great grandfathers passing on their things to our great grandparents and then grandparents, and then they pass it on to their children, and then we all in the society live like that. Now, when it comes to guilt and shame, there is a subtle difference. In fact, a big difference when it comes to guilt and shame. So, guilt is related to the activity that you do, right? So, there is an act you have done, and that you feel that you have done wrong, and it's not appropriate, it's not adequate. So, it is more about the act, right? And you think that, oh, I did this wrong, right? And that gives rise to guilt. But shame goes a little bit more deeper. When you start having self esteem issues, when you say that, I don't deserve this, I'm not capable enough, I am not worthy, I am not good enough, I don't have, I don't deserve, the love and acceptance and everything from people, and I'm a bad person, and I don't have anything to offer, and all of these things, where you have now formed a belief about your own self that you you itself are a bad person, right? And you're never going to do it. So there is, when it comes to guilt, it is still of a shorter span of time where you have done something and it occurs that it went wrong. But with shame, it goes way, way, way deeper, because now you have decided with yourself, you already feel shameful about yourself that I am a bad person, I have become a bad person, and that is how it's going to be, right? So that is the difference between how guilt and shame come up in our life. And that's where it started when we were children. And the more and more um, things that kept happening with us, the more we felt guilty about not being a good girl and not being a good boy, the more burdensome our life became, the bigger our baggage became. And now what happens that there is a battle going on. So you want to be loved, accepted, and feeling connected, belong to the society. But society has a different definition of, how you should live your life, a different template. And there was a natural template you were born with, the way you wanted to live. But now, if you live that way, then everybody is going to reject you. We don't know if that is going to happen or not, but the guilt and shame inside you is going to tell you that if I do this, if I tell people that, maybe I'm not straight, I'm gay, or maybe I tell people that I love somebody, outside of my parents choice, or maybe I am planning to have kids, or maybe I'm doing even, things like I want to become a singer or a dancer, as simple as, that. So that is something which is your natural thing that you want to become, but one side you're rejecting yourself, another side, if you choose that, you will be rejecting people, right? So there is always a battle going on, that whether we seek our own acceptance and whether we seek people's acceptance. And usually what happens, we have been taught that if we choose ourselves, we are bad. We don't respect people, value people, love people. And we are totally, parents told us that if you do this, then we are not going to look after you, or we are not going to love you, we are not, you're a bad boy, we hate you. So this constant battle that goes on inside us is, what are the baggages which we carry inside us for so long. So that was just the brief about, guilt and shame that I want to give you, guys, before we begin this conversation. So now the stage is open to you all. Any of you, if you want to share anything or share a story or ask a question, anything about the topic. So it's open. You can unmute yourself and talk. And please raise your hand so that we can know who wants to go next. So whatever I talked about, guys, did that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Akarma, anything you want to add?
Nothing, nothing.
Okay. So, guys, what do you think about guilt and shame? Any kind of particular kind of guilt or shame that you have experienced in your life? Anything that you have felt guilty about? How you got over it? Or anything you are going through right now that you would like to discuss? So anything is fine. And you don't have to worry about, being judged by other people. This is an open space. We all open up and talk. Yes, CP, please go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shall I share?
okay.
Please.
Should
Hello.
I wait? Should I go ahead?
Okay, let's go one by one. CP, you can go ahead first, and then we'll come to you, Maleshwari.
Okay. Okay, so there is this thing which I wanted to share. Um, I have this habit of downplaying myself very often. And whatever you have shared just now, I think that it does arise from a kind of guilt or shame that I have under me. So downplay as in if I do achieve something good, or if I do have something uh, good in me, or if I'm doing well in my profession, and if someone comes and asks me about it, I feel kind of hesitation to share it the way as it is. For example, if I am doing 9 on 10 in a project, or in terms of my career, or in terms of something professional, and samne wala person does come to me and ask that, how are you doing in this? So instead of telling him or her that I am 9 on 10 on this, I would downplay myself and I would say that, yeah, I'm doing okay, maybe kind of 7 on 10. So I don't know where does this come from, but matlab subconsciously, this is what comes out of my mouth. And after saying this, I do, wonder कि क्यों बोला मैंने ऐसे. मतलब, why can't I say कि नहीं, I'm doing really good, I'm 10 on 10 or 10. So this happens. I mean, recently I encountered this 2 to 3 days back. So I just thought of sharing.
Yeah, that's a very good example that your real life story that you have shared, CP. So
Yeah.
yes, I'm sure that there is some amount of guilt and shame involved in it, because whenever it comes to so taking your example in a particular case, so
Mhm.
talking about this only, a lot of times we also have this fear that in case I share my progress or share whatever I have achieved and all of these things, so then others may reject me, or they may think that I'm boasting about myself, or they may think that uh, you know uh, this person she has more and we don't have, so they may think less of themselves, and we feel worried about that, we don't want to hurt them. And another thing that can come up in this case is that maybe this is by luck. So a lot of people also go through imposter syndrome. So in this case, where they feel like whatever they have achieved is actually by chance. So we don't have a self-esteem enough, or we feel like a fraud that whatever I have achieved later on, if I lose this or I'm not doing as good as I'm doing right now, and then what I'll feel later on, then I'll have to maybe feel that, oh, ऊपर जाके I have come down. So it's better that पहले से ही मैं अपने आप को नीचे कर लेता हूँ. So in these many ways, shame comes up in different ways and forms. It shows up. So I don't know. I'm just making giving options to you. So whichever case that you relate to, of course, you can then extrapolate on that.
Yes, I do. I do resonate with quite a few of these points, Like, one of the things that comes to my mind when I'm downplaying myself is like, what if the other person rejects me? Like, they are mediocre and I'm doing something really good, and they would think, कि, oh, इसका level तो हमारे से ऊपर है. And I would not be, you know, मतलब इनके circle में they will not include me. So that is one fear also coming up. And the last one which you
Hmm.
said, कि पहले से ही I would make myself uh, appear on a lower level, कि बाद में अगर मुझे लो आना भी पड़े तो I would not have to announce it publicly, कि मतलब from 10 I'm coming to 6 or 5. So that is also one thing which go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is this like a self-sabotaging behavior?
No, the thing that you're talking about doesn't seem like a self-sabotaging behavior, because I don't know the entire case.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that, is there anything which, because this is just about, a conversation or just to get acceptance from people, but are you also rejecting yourself? Are you also, um, uh, somehow disregarding your needs or wants? In this case, if that is included, then it would be a self sabotaging behavior. Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, CP. That was valuable. Yes, Maleshwari, you want to go next?
Yeah, yeah. Hi. So, as ma'am, CP ma'am was saying that downplaying is one thing. It that was I was doing it long time, and always it is there that I don't place myself first. And to do that, always there is a kind of a mind voice which says that you're selfish, rude, and not being empathetic. I don't know. Maybe it was a very deep rooted thought or deep rooted habit. So anywhere where I have to step in myself, I usually don't do it. And at the end, I feel that I'm being degrading myself and not giving myself or saying kind of like depriving my rights in other ways. And there is always a guilt and shame at the end of it. And it is happening every day. There are everyday situations. Not that it's a big event that it's happening. It could be like very minute thing. Even in there, I am feeling it. One small example that I would like to share here is like I have like limited food choices. I don't eat salt and take milk products. So whenever I'm with my colleagues, they can eat all the things and they get a lot of items. And for me, it is only limited version. Say I take fruits or very limited stuff. But even then, I end up sharing with them, and finally what happens, my take is very less, or maybe very little, and towards the end, I stay hungry, or that adds on to other kind of complications towards the end of the day. But still, something that really drives me inside that I should share, and I always every day I believe that no, I should. I tell to myself today I'm not going to do it. I'll keep it for myself because me is first. But I end up doing it. I end up sharing it. Finally, I don't eat properly, and there is guilt and shame. Guilt that this act which I have done is not correct, and there is a deep rooted problem that I have degraded myself, and that adds on to shame. I don't know sometimes how to act here. I'm really being, like, as you said, being fraud and sabotaging myself. I have been doing it, and it's continuing. Not this is one example which I given. There are several situations which I'm not able to put a full stop. I don't know why. Even certain healthy boundaries also that has become like an act and ends up with shame. Now finally I bang my head and say, "Oh God, I shouldn't have done this." Being ashamed of myself. There is an inner voice which keeps scolding me. Uh, you have taken a wrong step. Why did you do this? So this happens. Feeling bad at the end of the day, and I have been carrying it. So uh, we
Yeah.
need to know where I can really feel good about doing it, not feel that I'm selfish or worthless or like people will stop talking to me. These are the things always the things inside my mind. Maybe this is the right way of doing. Suddenly people might judge that I'm not empathetic. I don't think this is the right way to really being rude to myself, but I end up doing it every day.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So also, having struggles setting healthy boundaries, then it also comes out as people pleasing. That always, trying to be good with people, and always feeling like if I do something about myself, even like you shared the example, even doing that much about myself makes us feel guilt and shame. And you also did this attachment styles thing, right? So was your attachment style anxious, preoccupied?
Yes, in a way. Finally, what runs in my mind is if I don't do this, probably, my relationship will become sour, and that will finally add, a lot of driftings will happen. Always it starts from there, a kind of a fear. I can say that anxiety is there whenever I'm taking that kind of a decision.
Right, right.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. And when it comes to, this kind of style from which we operate, then what happens is that we have a really low image of ourselves and very high image of other people. Hmm. that others are all good, and even if they're doing something wrong, we always say that, oh, that's fine, everybody makes a mistake. But when we do not um, look up to our own standards, the standards of like being a good person, and then we start feeling guilty and shameful about it.
Yeah, even if that's a small blunder, even for that, really punishing in a big way.
Right, right. And have you done something about this, like healing this thing?
Yes, in between I started the healing grief that time. It helped me in a way to set my healthy boundaries. But then thereafter, this anxiety is there that I might lose a relationship or I might soar the relationship. That kind of an anxiety I am facing it still. Not It's not completely gone time.
Yeah, yeah. So you have pretty much, enough awareness on this thing. But what I feel that you need to do is, dig a little deeper into where this guilt and shame and this kind of self image actually is coming from,
Okay.
right? So this is good amount of awareness. So now you have brought awareness that what you're doing, what is happening, what all patterns are there, and
Yeah.
how your behaviors come out. But I think there needs to be a little more introspection on this point, that how it got created.
Yes, that
Yeah,
is what it's lacking. And usually, how to stop that habit of this has become a habit to me. I want to change consciously. I know that I'm doing it wrong, but I end up doing it. So
yeah,
that I want to correct it.
yeah, yeah. Right. So when it comes to guilt and shame, so basically the thing is that the battle that we talked about, which is going on inside us. So we need to bring awareness and clarity on some points, which Maleshwari, you said you already have, that why you need to do something. But that is not enough for you, because it has now become a habit. Because whenever we bring awareness to certain things, then those things start to dissolve. But if they're not dissolving, it's a very good point to see that yes, now it has become a habit, and even if you know that you're doing it, you're not able to get out of it. So this is actually no different than being addicted to something. So to to break that kind of addiction pattern, we need to see that why it is so important for us to get that appreciation, approval, and validation from people. And rather than seeking it from those places, we need to see that where else I can actually get that validation and appreciation and approval and all of those things from. Right. So we keep seeking it in places where a lot of times people start taking us for granted, and even people start taking advantage of us. And we cannot blame them. That's just a part of human nature, that if you start giving, people this indication that, oh, you can, do all of those things with me, and then like ऐसा होता है ना कि आप मेरा हाथ पकड़ो मैं अपनी गर्दन खुद दे दूंगी. So we need to see why we keep repeating these behaviors again and again. Yeah. So more deeper introspection is required in this case. Thank you, Maleshwari.
Thank you, Anamika.
Saruch, your hand was up. You wanted to say something.
Yes. Hey, actually, thing is that I wanted to do all activities perfectly. I expect everybody to. I also resonate the same from others. But the thing is that nothing has happened. So I feel that I have overvalued them or something has grown with me. I feel guilty throughout the day. So this is the things going on sometimes. How these things is happening. I wanted to be perfect in all respects. Means I want to fix a time for my morning routines and for my day works and office works, so many things, but nothing has happened. So the
Okay.
guilt tendency is there. Yes.
Okay. So you're saying that you feel guilty that you're not able to live your life the way you want to live.
Yes. That is the things.
Yes. And
Hi, Saroj. So, I was listening to this. So, I'll ask you one question. What can you hear me, Saroj?
Yes.
Okay. Um, so, what's going to happen if you are never going to get that perfect? If
I will
this
not
is,
get satisfaction.
ha,
I will not get satisfaction. I feel I will be in the dissatisfaction state in that way.
okay. So, how is your life going to be? So, let's say this thing is not achievable and you will be dissatisfied. So, how is your quality of life going to be?
Quality of the life, we can say, mm, it is not up to mark. It is not up to mark, and dissatisfaction level will be higher, and it gives me irritations or something like that, and mm, um, in self-esteem is also comes down in that case.
Mm,
So this is the problems are going on.
right, right.
I
And
do
this is
meditation, yoga, lot many things I started. I want to do the perfect, but nothing perfect is happening.
correct. Correct. So, see, the thing is that um, this task that you are taking on, hmm, I'll, I'll I'll tell you one example. So, do you believe that? Do you believe in God?
Yes, definitely,
Okay. Do you think that God is perfect?
definitely.
Okay. So then, in that case, if I ask you, then why are kids born with deformities?
Which one?
Why are kids born? Why are kids born with deformities? Why are kids born
This.
handicapped kids and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Why are kids born with deformities? So, why are there deformities in perfection then? If God is
Uh,
perfect, all creations are perfect, then why are kids deformed?
might be I believe in past karma, but
No, no,
this
no.
has
That's
nothing to
not the
do with that.
question. But I'm saying God is perfect. You are saying God is perfect. So why God's creations are not perfect?
Okay, it varies from the person to person.
Definitely. But we are not talking about person. We are talking about God right now.
Yes,
You are saying God is perfect, and I'm saying if God is perfect, then why are kids born with deformities?
it may be as a God's punishment to him, because he is deprived of certain things, amenities or something.
I'm not
That is,
asking for the reasons. I'm saying that we consider that if a kid is born with deformity,
yes,
then in that case we can safely assume then God is not perfect.
yes. Okay.
So if God is not perfect, then you are
Yes,
trying
yes,
to beat God basically,
yes. Yes,
right?
yes. Okay,
What are you going to achieve by that? By competing with God?
okay. I wanted 24 hours positive vibes, inspirations, positive vibes, and I will motivate the people, motivate the entrepreneurs, whatever the
Uh,
professionals like. So These are the all
I,
positivity
I,
should be
I
there
understand.
throughout.
I understand. I understand. I
Yes, yes, yes.
understand. I am just trying to bring your focus to one thing, that you believe God is perfect, nothing is above God, and even God is happy with some sort of imperfections that are happening.
Yes, 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 yes.
Right?
Okay, okay,
And
okay.
you are trying to beat that. You are saying 24/7, I want to be this and that. Even God is happy with some imperfections,
Yes,
but you're not.
yes, yes, yes. Yes, now I got the point.
So it is not about being perfect 24/7 and all that. But the thing is that what you're missing out on is that even if you are perfect 23 hours out of 24, your focus is not on 23 hours. Your focus is on that 1 hour that you were not perfect.
Yes, yes, yes. So
So
that
why
that
you are holding such kind of impractical standards to yourself that even God is not meeting right now?
yes, 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 yes,
So this thing that I asked you, that what if you could never achieve it? Even like God is older than you, I assume, and hasn't achieved it yet, and you are trying to achieve it in your life. And what if you don't achieve it? Then you're saying that my quality of life is going to be very bad. So what is the benefit of living in that kind of zone? So you are, on one hand, you are saying, I want to be in the positive vibe and all that, yet you are only looking at what is missed and creating that negativity for yourself.
yes, yes, yes. I got it. So,
There is a
is there
good
any
chance
tech?
that you will live a more happy life, even if you are perfect 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day, and you enjoy that and you be in a good state of mind. There is a good chance that if you are perfect 4 hours a day and in that good state of mind, you can probably become more perfect 5 hours a day or 6 hours a day. There is a more good chance that you can do better if you are in a good state of mind, rather than being in this state of mind trying to still improve it.
Yes. Is there any shortcut methods or for practicing these things, or uh, it is a
Shortcut
level of
method,
understanding?
shortcut method to beat God, you are saying. That's what you're asking.
Yes, yes, yes,
Is that a question you want to find an answer for? Is there a shortcut method to beat God?
no, no, no. For overcoming this type of difficulties, sometimes if it happens, sometimes how to overcome that difficulties or something like. Now in clarity call, I got the fully clarity about these things, because I am worried for 1 hour, which is I have not achieved, but I am not concerned about that 3 to 4 hours that I have already achieved. So that is the basic things. It is when I am in the dilemma. Now this point is clear, and I am very happy. But if there is something comes like this again and again, so is there any healing process or something to be practiced myself?
This thing, this thing will only come if you keep focusing on this thing. So if you remove your focus from this thing, then how will it come?
Yes, yes,
So right now you're focusing there. You're focusing on what you're missing. And this is why these questions are coming. But if you put all your focus on what you're gaining, then most of your time is going on thinking about what you're gaining. So then this question disappears.
yes, yes,
So
yes, yes,
if you can every day instead of when you go to bed, instead of thinking what I missed, instead of thinking what I gained, then you are focusing on that, what you are gaining, and you are feeling the gratitude towards what you gained today instead of what I lost today.
Yes, yes, yes,
Because the thing is that no matter how much you gain, if your focus is always going to be on loss, then no amount of gain is ever going to be enough.
yes. True, absolutely. Okay.
Many of us get trapped in this perfectionist zone. Even when I was listening to Maleshwari, what she was talking about, is she still on the call? She's not on the call. So she was also talking from that angle of perfectionist. It's good to aim for perfection. I'm not against it that uh, always look at continuous improvement. But continuous improvement doesn't mean don't pause for 1 minute and celebrate your wins. You're not even pausing to celebrate your wins. You're constantly running. And even a marathon runner has to sometimes stop and and take some breath and enjoy a little short run. But you're only running. So enjoy your short wins a little bit, or you can do continuous improvement. You can see that how I can make things better, how I can do things better. But doing things better doesn't mean that what you have done is not good and you cannot stop and celebrate it.
Yes, yes,
Only when you will stop and celebrate, you will start to see that this is also good, this is also good. So bring your focus on the game and remove your focus from the loss, then these questions will disappear. You will
yes,
not
yes,
be
yes.
asking these questions anymore because you'll
Oh,
be too busy counting your gains. Right now, you're too busy counting your losses. Right now, you're too busy counting that I've tried doing meditation, this didn't happen. You're not stopping and thinking that, but at least I got up and I did meditation. At least I got up and I tried this and whatever. So your goalpost keeps changing. So you're not giving yourself enough credit of what you're achieving.
yes,
Start giving that, and then you will see a lot of things will start to change. A lot of things will start to shift in your life. You will also start to see the good that other people are doing. Right now, I'm going to make this assumption that um, right now it's not just only you trying to be a perfectionist, but people around you will probably be a lot bugged because you will probably be in a very critical and criticizing mode with other people also. You're very good at finding faults, not just for yourself, but for others also. And those faults could be, you could be putting it in a way that you might be doing constructive criticism or trying to give them feedback so they can become better and all that. But at the end of the day, you're still finding faults. And people get that message that your focus is only on finding faults. You probably think that you are giving them some feedback so they will improve, they will become better and all that. But that's not how people want to be motivated. Nobody feels motivated that way. You yourself are not feeling motivated that way. Forget about others.
yes,
People feel motivated when you remind them of the achievements that they have already achieved. You remind yourself the achievements that you've already achieved. then you feel motivated to do more. But if you are only going to find the gaps, only going to find what's missed, and you think that this is going to motivate other people or this is going to motivate you to do more and better, it's only a strategy that is going to bring you exhaustion and fatigue, and others also.
Okay.
Is this happening to you? Is this something you relate to? Do you resonate with this?
Yes, I got it, all the points.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank
Yes, Kirti, you want to say something?
So the problem I am facing is I always have a fear that people will take me for granted. So when
Your
I
voice
feel
is not very clear. I can hear you, but it's not clear enough.
just a second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's clear, but it's low now. But it's clear than before.
Now it's clear.
It's a bit. Yeah, the voice is clear. Volume is a bit low.
I think because
So
of
yeah, you can speak up a little bit loudly. Then should be.
okay. So my problem is what I always my thought process is like what if that people are taking me for granted. So in that fear I always have that fear. So in that fear sometimes I react to the situations or people in anger or rude without my knowledge. After that, after that everything is done over, situation and all, then I feel guilty about it. But at the same time I feel if I don't react like that, I'll be a doormat to people. They'll start taking advantage of me. So these kind of thoughts will pop up. So I'm not knowing how to respond to the situation
So you
when I'm
are
put blame.
afraid. You are afraid that people will take you for granted, or people are taking you for granted. Is this a fear or is this a reality?
Mm, I mean, it happened. It happened in the past. So that afraid is there in me.
So in past, people have taken you for granted. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know whether it is taken for granted or not, but I felt like they took advantage of me. They used me. Like
Okay, so what is your definition of taken for granted? Because I want to know that is this coming from some experience or is this coming from your mind? So is this imaginary or is this real? That's what I want to first distinguish.
yeah. So in past many experiences, like so many people used to ask me for help, and I used to help them, and I used to give everything, whatever they asked. And at the end, they used to leave me or ignore me. So things happen like this. So at some point of time, I got a belief that we should never trust any person because they'll use you or they'll take advantage of you like that. Basically, I used to help people. My helping nature, seeing my helping nature, everyone took my help, and when that is done, they used to ignore me.
Okay, ignore you in the sense that like when you need help from them, they will not help you, but when they need help, you will help them. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So that has happened in past. It's not happening anymore.
Yeah, it happened lot of times in the past, but later on, then I decided, okay, then I should be careful in giving help to others. I should see to that everything, and then I started helping others by not saying yes to everyone.
Mhm.
But because of those past experiences, I don't know, but subconsciously, that fear or this thing has been in my mind that people will take me for granted or they'll take advantage of me like that. That maybe that mindset has come from those experiences. I'm thinking. I don't.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. The mindset may have come from those experiences, but the tendency to think that way would have come much before those experiences, actually. So now the question is that
Mm.
if you are now saying no to people where you need to say no, and people are not taking you for granted, um,
Mm.
now what is the fear? So now it seems like that you can say no where you need to say no. So what is the problem then?
Yeah, I say no, but when I say no, and other person's reactions if they sulk or if they try to judge me or something, that bothers me.
So you want to say no, and you basically want them to be happy with that as well. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes, but yeah, this is not. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe they're
And
not
you
happy, but
want an
I should.
answer, and you want to know how to say no in a way that the other person feel happy about it. Is
Yes,
that
yes.
the
I
question?
want, yeah, I want to say no where it is a win-win situation. Like they should not feel sad or, and even I should not feel.
So for that, Kirti, wouldn't it be like common sense? If I use my common sense, then wouldn't it be that I should be talking to them, not you? Because they are the one who are feeling bad. So then why are we talking? I should be talking to those people, no? Because
Yeah,
they are the one who are feeling bad. You said no, they are feeling bad. You are saying that I want a solution that I say no and they shouldn't feel bad. So then I should be talking to them, not to you. Correct?
yes, in a way you're correct, but thinking like this is um, uh, what what should I do? I don't know. I don't know. It bothers me if other people are unhappy. Like from the very beginning, I have this label called sensitive child. I'm so sensitive or
Yeah.
something.
So this is why I was saying that is exactly what I said before, that you you found out that you were taken for granted, but the seeds of that behavior was sown much before. As you're saying that earlier on, I was labeled a sensitive child and all that. So the seeds were sown long before this
Mm,
experience. This
mm,
experience is you have you this experience is only showing that that seed has sprouted and the fruits have come. So you're only seeing the experience. You're not seeing when the seed was sown and how the seed was sown and all that. So your focus is still on the fruit and not on the root.
okay, okay.
You're trying to fix a root cause of this problem. The questions that you're asking are about the root cause,
Mm.
but the solution you are asking me is about the fruit, not about the root.
Not about the root cause.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, because
so
the root cause is not that people are taking you for granted,
mm,
and I say no and I feel bad and all that.
mm,
The root cause is this. The root cause is this behavior, which is the people pleasing behavior. This people pleasing behavior was sown long before. Questions should be about this. You're asking questions that how should I say no that the other person doesn't feel bad? So you still don't want to look at the people pleasing behavior. You still want to know a superficial solution that how to say no so the other person doesn't feel bad. But your focus is not on why it is making you feel bad. If the other person is feeling bad, then what is your business in it? You are
Mm.
saying no because you want to say no about something. If they can't take it, how is that your business? But you are making it your business.
Mm. Yes,
So the problem is not here. The problem is somewhere else. Are you following what I'm saying?
yes. So
The problem is
if
not
they're
in the
not
saying of
okay,
no.
also I should be fine. It should not bother me. It's bothering me means that something is uh,
Problem is somewhere else. If it
somewhere.
is bothering you, that is indicating that the problem is not in saying no. The problem is not about how you are saying no. The problem is not about you learn different ways of communication and all that. It is not a communication problem. I'm sure that you must be saying it in a very nice way and polite way and all that. I'm sure you will not be rude and all that about it. So this
Mm.
is not a communication problem. The
Mm.
problem is that when you say no, the other person feels bad,
Mm.
and when the other person feels bad, you feel bad.
Yes, yes. So the
So it's a different problem.
yeah. So yeah. Actually, uh, I don't like if other people feel bad because of me.
Correct, correct, correct. So now we have come from, you started talking about taken for granted, but you actually ended up in a very different problem. Do you see
Yes,
that?
yes, yes,
This is the root. The fruit was taken for granted was just the fruit. Your focus was just on the fruit.
yes, yes,
But the root is not that. The root is that when others feel bad, you feel bad.
yes, yes. And I don't
And
like.
people
Uh-huh.
and people can take advantage in many different ways. Someone could take you for granted. Someone could manipulate you about it as well because they know you will feel bad, so they will guilt you, shame you, and all that, and they'll manipulate you in doing things.
Yes, true.
And they are doing it, right?
Yes.
Yes. So the problem is not that. The problem is your insecure attachment style about this is I don't want to feel bad when other people are feeling bad because of me. This is the problem to solve. All the other problems will get solved. So you don't have
Mm.
to worry about solving taken for granted or how I say no or how I stop people from this or how, you can't stop people from doing anything. You can't stop people from reacting the way they react.
Mm.
You don't have control over their emotion. Nobody has control over their emotion. All you can do is say what you want to say, and then they
Mm.
have the freedom to react the way they want to react.
But that should not bother me.
But that should not bother you, but it is bothering you.
Yes.
And this is the problem to solve. This is the root.
Okay. So I should go back to my childhood and understand the situation. Where did I get this from? Or
Yeah, so you've already completed the guided subconscious probing workshop. No?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So if I
So
do that once again,
those questions, yeah, with those questions, you do it again.
okay,
You already
okay,
have the questions. Do those questions again. Listen to the recording of that workshop again.
okay. So I think this
Yeah,
is an intention. Maybe I can find answer for this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And
sir.
then there are some things that we mentioned that some things you will be able to drop yourself. So when you start to see that where this is coming from your mother wounds, father wounds that we talked about, that how this behavior was formed.
Mm,
Where is it coming from? This behavior is a learned behavior. You
mm,
learned it from your environment.
mm.
That this is the way to do it. That environment made you oversensitive.
Yes, maybe I was always hearing these words that we should not hurt others, we should not hurt others, we should be always kind. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. See, not hurt others is one thing. Not hurt others, you have taken this lesson way too far. Not hurt others means don't go and hit somebody.
Mm,
Don't go and say something which you know. So if I'm going to swear at someone, if I'm going to say something which is going to be insulting in nature,
Mm.
when I already know talking in a rude way, talking in a very disrespectful way, I know this is going to hurt us. That is what it means. This doesn't mean don't say what you want to say. So
Mm.
if you are saying something and other people are not taking it in that way, that is indicating their wounds. That is indicating some work they have to do on themselves. What has your business in that?
Yes. True.
You didn't intentionally say anything to hurt them. You didn't intentionally say anything to insult them.
I just express
You
my
just said what you wanted to do or not do.
yes, yes.
If they are not able to take it,
Mm.
then that is their problem. Then you cannot take the responsibility of the hurt they are creating because of their wounds, which they are not working on. How does that become your responsibility?
Mm. Okay.
Yeah? So you're taking the lessons way too far.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Maybe if I could find this root cause, things will dissolve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the clarity.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else have anything to say, discuss? Um, Nothing from my side. And Amita, is there anything you want to say, or we can wrap up the call if there is nothing more? I think we covered what we wanted to, I suppose.
Yeah, no, nothing much to add from my side as well. Just, Kirti, what Kirti was talking about. So, even though we started from a very different direction and we talked about so many things, but we can see that how this topic in itself is testimony of how guilt and shame play out in our lives. So the moment, like Kirti shared her belief system, and the moment she hurts, she just thinks, right? She may not even be hurting people really, but even if she thinks that she's hurting somebody, the thought itself makes her feel guilty and shameful about it, right? And that's how deeper guilt and shame are driven inside us. And the thing is that she's first feeling guilty for hurting people, and then she's feeling guilty that she could not stand up for herself, or she could not do things according to the way the way she wanted to do. So it's like as if you're like a ball of badminton, and you're playing you're like pushing yourself on the right side of the court and the left side of the court, and you're just making your own self like a ball. So it's like a game we keep playing with ourselves. Now, the thing is that again, the whole point of having this discussion is not that we start feeling guilty and shameful about, feeling guilty and shameful. So it's not taking it forward that way, but to actually increase our awareness that, like Kirti was talking, so only one dialogue that was coming to my head, that if you want to make everybody happy in the world, go and sell ice creams, right? Because there is no way for us that everybody is going to be happy about the way we live our lives. But um, like if you just express the way you are, yes, many people will like it, many people will not like it. And those who respect your boundaries, those who respect your needs, those who also respect what you want from life, they will always respect that thing, they will not disregard it. But we keep living in fear that you know uh, if we do this, then people are going to leave me or abandon me or reject me, neglect me, or I'm going to end up alone, and all of those fears coming up, and we keep circling in the cycle of guilt, because first we think that we hurt people, and then we hurt ourselves, and we feel guilty about hurting ourselves. So Kirti was talking about a win-win, but the thing is that this this seems like win-win for the short term scenario, but in actuality, in real life, it's a lose-lose. because those people are also getting an idea that, you know, they can do whatever they want. They can, so they are also not getting a healthy relationship, and you're also not getting a healthy relationship. So it's like, for a short term game, we keep playing these games, but we end up losing long term a lot of things.
Ashwini's hand was up. Ashwini wanted to say something.
Actually, yes. I wanted to share something personal, but I will think about it. All I wanted, or maybe I will. So, my ex-husband and I, we had premarital sexual relationships, which was like way ahead of our times, perhaps. And then I conceived because we were not careful, or I didn't know about any contraceptives, and he was not bothered. And then we had to abort the pregnancy. We got married, but for 12 years he kept telling me that I am the characterless person, I am this characterless woman. And then at the end of 12 years I said, like, I'm not the person who had sex alone, right? You were also involved. And he was like so triggered by my claiming that, you know, you were also involved in that sexual act. uh, mm, and so I feel, you know, that there are some people, and I observe this pattern very, very often after that, when I notice this, that there are some people who are willing to feel guilty like me, and willing to apologize and, you know, make amends all the time. I don't know if this is the topic being repeated. I suppose this is again me saying sorry. So, and there are some people who are like shameless, and they will never apologize, and they will always find a way to justify their actions. Is that, are those like patterns? And then how do we go about like amending our, or rather my, how do I go about amending my this pattern of, you know, constantly thinking whether I did something wrong? In everything that happens, people can very easily stick the blame to me, because I'm willing to accept it. And like, I did something wrong, and and there are some people who are just like so smug. There's some,
And
there's
I
a
see that I see that now many a times, before even someone says that to you, you already apologize. I've said that to you many times. Ashwini, don't apologize. Don't say sorry. Please
yeah, I do that.
automatically just say sorry before even anyone say anything.
Yeah, true. I do that. That's why people can stick the blame to me. Like, I'm the easy scapegoat even before the whole trial or anything comes up. People know
Yeah.
that the scapegoat is Ashwini.
Yeah, that's it. So that comes from the conviction, internal conviction that what I am doing is correct, and from the conviction that not everybody is going to be happy. So that is the whole point about setting healthy boundaries. And when we use always use this terminology, setting healthy boundaries, we're not saying set boundaries. We're saying set healthy boundaries, and let those people also learn from this, that you have carefully thought about this, and this is your non-negotiable, and you are saying no to this, and that's it. And be prepared in your mind that not everybody is going to be happy. So making everyone's happiness your responsibility, then you have to drop your non-negotiables. Then make that your non-negotiable, that my non-negotiable is to make everybody happy. Then that means I will do everything that everybody is going to ask me. Then be happy with that decision. So then why feel victimized, or why feel guilty that this is happening, that is happening? Because you are only deciding that. You are only saying that I want everybody to be happy.
No, I don't feel
Then
victimized because I don't
no,
know
no,
that
I'm
I
not
have
saying.
rights.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just making a general. I'm talking to Kirti also in this. I'm talking to everyone in this. We are just using this example right now, that anybody who is making a priority that I want to make everybody happy. So although I'm going to set boundaries, but then if people are going to retaliate, people are going to object, then I'm just going to soon dissolve those boundaries because I want to make them happy. Then make that your principle. So then be happy and be calm with that, that this is going to happen. Then don't set any boundaries with anyone, because that's the only way. Don't set any boundaries, then people will take advantage, people will take you for granted, people will manipulate you. But then you want them to be happy, na? So then they're happy. They're happy making taking you for granted. They're happy manipulating you. So they are happy. So you are achieving the goal. So फिर problem क्या है? तो ये भी बोलो
I
कि
think
ये
the
भी हो और वो भी ना हो.
problem is deeper in the sense I don't know what my non-negotiables are, or that I can have some non-negotiables, something like that. And there is also this other problem, like people who can lie through their teeth and never feel guilty about whatever they're doing to other people. How do you recognize such people? Because they are very forceful, and very convincing, and sort of manipulating you in taking the blame. So there are two things here. How do we find our non-negotiables? And secondly, how do we deal with these kind of people?
Non-negotiables are our values, what kind of person you are. So let's say, for example, I'm not saying your, but anyone, just giving examples of non-negotiables is like that if you are in a relationship, then I want my partner to be loyal. So that's non-negotiable. And if they are not loyal, then it's not going to. So then whatever consequences, then if that means the relationship will break, then you be ready with that consequence. So आपको ये चाहिए कि मैं आपकी बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ अश्विनी, I'm just talking in general right now that if
Yeah, I
someone is
get that.
saying someone is saying that my partner should be loyal, that is non-negotiable, and the moment they find that they are disloyal, then you are talking to them and they are just accepting it and they are saying, yeah, that's how it is, or I'm going to be like this or whatever. So if that, if because of that you feel "Ki, I can't be with a person like this, I can't be with a person who lies, who's manipulating and all that, and if they are doing it and you find out, then the consequence of that is going to be that you're not going to be in that relationship. So if you reach that point and there you decide, no, but I can't break that relationship and I want to continue, then make that relationship your non-negotiable. Then be happy with anything. Because if you can't stick to the boundaries that you are creating and you want this or that way, then so be it. Then stick to that. Idea is that whatever decision you are making, just be happy with it. You can't say that this is the way it is, and I want the other person also, you know, accept my non-negotiables, and they should change and they should do this. And that's not in your control. The only thing that is in your control is to very clearly communicate that this is not done. This is not acceptable, and that's it. And then if you are setting those boundaries, consequences are going to come. So be ready with those consequences because consequences are going to come regardless. We live in this world which is not free from consequences. So setting boundaries are also going to bring you consequences. Not setting boundaries are also going to bring you consequences. Both ways you are going to face the consequences. Now the question is which set of consequences you are ready to accept. जो भी आपको लगता है कि I can handle this consequence, then be happy with it. Then understand that others will do that. So if, like Kirti is saying that I want to make the other person happy, so then the other person becomes happy by using her. तो फिर problem क्या है? फिर तो हो रहा है ना. She made the other person happy. They came, they manipulated her, or they took advantage. जब उनको काम था वो आए, उन्होंने अपना काम निकाला, चले गए, तो they are happy. तो फिर अब इसमें sad क्यों हम feel कर रहे हैं? कि why are we saying कि we got taken for granted and all that? तो ये तो वही हो गया कि चिट भी मेरी और पट भी मेरी. तो if happiness is the target, the people are happy. People are happy to take advantage. People are happy to manipulate. People are happy to do this and that. So फिर तो हो गया ना गोल अचीव. तो फिर हमको उसमें खुश हो जाना चाहिए ना कि मैं यही तो चाह रहा था कि सबको मैं खुश कर दूं. तो सबको खुश करने के लिए मैं ये कर रहा हूँ. पर अगर वो नहीं है, क्योंकि कॉन्सिक्वेंस तो आने ही वाले हैं ना, हर डिसीजन के कॉन्सिक्वेंस आने वाले हैं हमारे पास. तो विच सेट ऑफ कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज आई एम रेडी टू टेक. आई कैनॉट से कि अभी बाउंड्री सेट कर दी I want everybody to be happy with those boundaries. People are not going to. People who have not um, honored your boundaries before, when you didn't set any boundaries, all of a sudden you start doing that, they're not going to be happy. They are going to retaliate. And we should be prepared, mentally prepared for that. That is part of setting healthy boundaries. I mean, they just go hand in hand. It's impossible for us to separate these two things. कि मैं अगर कुछ बोलूंगा, कुछ सेट करूंगा, तो लोग रिटेलिएट करेंगे ही, क्योंकि उनको आदत नहीं है वो चीज मेरे से रिसीव करने की. उनको तो हमेशा से आदत थी, वो कुछ भी बोल के जाएंगे, कुछ भी करेंगे. उनका तो काम चल रहा था, अचानक से मैंने ब्रेक लगा दी, वो कैसे खुश होंगे? तो ये तो मुझे समझ के चलना चाहिए कि ये तो होने ही वाला है. तो अब इसमें आई हैव टू शो माई डिटर्मिनेशन, आई हैव टू शो माई कन्विक्शन की, but I am going to stick to it. I'm going to allow time to these people to get settled with this thing, and I'm just going to stick to it. Lalli, your hand is up. You want to say something?
Yes, Sakarma. I wanted to say something about feeling guilty while eating. Eating alone in a house where there are two people are there, I always have earlier eating time. So I used to feel very guilty. And then I wouldn't do justice to my eating also. I used to feel guilty about that. That was one thing. Another was what Kirti had said. Oh, I have gone through that, and a lot of people have manipulated me, and I had to suffer to get out of that. I'm sure there must be some sawdust still left behind, maybe. But when I started asserting myself, a lot of people stopped asking me for my time out of place, like asking my time, and the small children are there, and I have put them on the, I have doing something or even feeding them. Suddenly I'm asked to go at short notice, just leave them and go, and those kind of things, and then I couldn't even assert. And then when it is your small time that the family is together, that time you're supposed to, take another family member out and leave the young family just like that, hanging. So I used to do that. Initially, I used to do that also. If I'm cooking, I'll just leave all that and then go and receive somebody and then spend n number of hours leaving my things, hanging. So when Kitty spoke, it reminded me about myself. A lot of things have changed, but I feel there would be some left behind. So I used to find it very difficult. Another area was when I was teaching teaching yoga, and I'm really extending my time to teach my students. So, she'll go from the topic of yoga to many other things. So I couldn't, give her justice to her class because she would go, she's a personal friend, and I was just taking free classes for her. So I couldn't do justice while she, went from personal talk to, uh, the class things. So those are three things I wanted to say areas. Another thing also is I was a guilty mother. Even when I started off being a mother, I was so guilty, and I used to convey to my child initially that I'm so guilty, I've not done this, I've not done that. And I used to tell to my child, and I was corrected by people, you must not say that. But it went on and on, was quite a bit. So those were areas of guilt and shame. I don't know. I think these actually crisscross somewhere. Guilt and shame, I'm sure. Probably you can tell me give me some inputs on that. Thank you.
Thanks, Lily. Yeah, guilt and shame kind of go hand in hand only. That yeah, they are like that. So it's where guilt is there, shame would be there too. That's that's how they go. I I don't really have much to say on this, so that's good. Thanks for sharing that. Ashwini, did you have anything more to say?
No, actually, I had asked you how to deal or recognize people who lie through their teeth and manipulate people who are vulnerable. But that's okay. It's um, sort of not part of this topic, and I guess that we have
More
carried
of
on for
a,
long enough.
I think it's more of a like a life experience kind of a thing that um, it's observing that it's um, observing those red flags and sometimes people who do this kind of thing are the ones who we create an image in our mind that they are not like that. So um, so yeah, so just be open to be wrong about someone. I'm not saying that you judge them straight away, but at the same time, observe what is happening. So do not overlook the red flags just because you feel no, no, this person can't be like that, or no, they probably didn't mean that this way or that way. So do not overlook the red flags. If something is not adding up, then confront and ask and check. That's what I can say. It's the life lessons that we learn interacting with people. Just be open to do that. Just be open to cross check.
Thank you.
Yeah. One more thing that I wanted to add about this thing, which I forgot, that see, we all make mistakes in life, and the thing is that whenever we make mistakes, like when we were talking about guilt, so guilt is about doing something, and shame is about being something, right? So whenever we make a mistake, it's okay, it's natural and it's normal as a human to make the mistake. But when we keep repeating the same mistake over and over and over again, it usually converts into shame. And it's kind of a self punishment mechanism we have for ourselves, that if we keep feeling guilty, and if we keep punishing ourselves or keep feeling shameful, then maybe I'll push myself to do things in the right way so that I can get acceptance from people and all of these things. So these are kind of belief systems that we have inside us when it comes to guilt and shame. So making mistakes and feeling guilty about it and then learning from it is actually a healthy thing. So we do something about it, right? But when it comes to these kind of guilt and shame that we are carrying from so long, then they usually point towards the past, and we are living so much in the past, that we keep that, even if we are not thinking about it consciously, everything in our life is getting impacted by it, and it keeps running in our mind again and again and again. So we first need to take a pause and at least see that, first of all, the past cannot be changed. So what has happened, and even if we have made mistakes or something didn't go, maybe we did something wrong with someone else or maybe with ourselves, whatever way, then we need to be a little more compassionate to ourselves, and a little more accepting of ourselves, as humans who make mistake. Yes, learning from the mistake, and bringing this into awareness that I'll not make the same mistake again. And that doesn't mean that we'll never make any mistakes. but not the same mistake. So using it as an opportunity rather than enforcing the same thing on us over and over again, that how can I do this, again I did this, and this kind of loop that we get into. So when it comes to compassion, acceptance, forgiveness, so usually when people talk about these things, we see it in external environment, that oh, forgive this person, accept this person is like this, and be compassionate to other people. But we never talk about being compassionate to ourselves, being accepting of ourselves, being forgiving of ourselves, right? And the thing is that all of these baggages that we keep holding on, all of these belief systems that we keep holding on, we never take out time to actually see whether they serve us or not, right? But just to protect something, just to just for that little short term gain, we continue to hold on to those belief systems. So all of these things need to be seen, that what am I punishing myself for? Because if there is guilt and shame, there is certainly some self punishment which is going on, right? And yes, that is a different thing. If there is a murderer and he keeps murdering people and keeps feeling shame about it, then it's pretty obvious. But let's suppose those things do not even exist in our life, and yet we keep feeling the same way over and over again. Then we really need to see that, why. I mean, why am I even doing this to myself? And it's so easy for us to be compassionate and understanding to other people. Then why we cannot bring a little bit of that understanding to ourselves?
So I want to use say something on this line using an example. Is that if if a new person comes and cheats you, so they project a very trustworthy image, and everything is fine. There is no need for you to उनके ऊपर कोई शक करने का ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. Like they're very nice and everything is good, right? And then they end up cheating you in some way or whatever they did, manipulating you. That is not a reflection of you. That is a reflection of their character. They just really good con artists, and they just did what they did. इसमें हमारा कुछ ज्यादा कई बार नहीं रहता है. हर चीज में ही अपने आप को बीट करने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. हाँ, वहां पे हो सकता है कि जहाँ पे आपको रेड फ्लैग्स दिख रहे थे और आपने देखे नहीं, तो वहां पे obviously we will say कि some insecure attachment style is in play, that you saw this, you could see when you reflect back, you can see कि something was not adding up. But if the other person is dealing with you in a way कि everything is adding up, और फिर भी आप बेवकूफ बन गए और आप चीट हो गए, तो इसमें आपकी कोई इसमें आपकी कैसे गलती हो सकती है? दैट जस्ट शोज देयर कैरेक्टर. हाँ, गलती कब होगी आपकी कि द सेम पर्सन चीटेड यू अगेन. यहाँ पे गलती है, क्योंकि यू डिडंट लर्न एनीथिंग फ्रॉम दैट. सो नाउ यू फेल्ट इन द सेम ट्रैप. बट इफ यू गॉट चीटेड बाय अ डिफरेंट पर्सन अगेन, हाउ इज दैट योर मिस्टेक? क्योंकि ये तो दूसरा इंसान था, इसकी तो टैक्टिक्स अलग थी. दूसरे तरीके से आप एक तरीके से बेवकूफ बने और आप दूसरे तरीके से बेवकूफ बन गए. दुनिया में तो लाखों तरीके हैं किसी को भी बेवकूफ बनाने के. तो यू जस्ट बिकॉज यू गॉट ट्रीटेड वंस डजंट मेक यू लाइक अ सुपर अलर्ट पर्सन, एंड यू कैनॉट जज एवरीबडी फ्रॉम दैट एक्सपीरियंस. दैट वुड ऑल्सो बी रॉन्ग कि एक बार किसी ने चीट कर लिया तो अब आप किसी पे ट्रस्ट ही नहीं कर रहे, तो वो भी गलत है. ट्रस्ट तो करना ही है, पर वो ट्रस्ट करने से अगर दूसरे ने आपको फिर से चीट कर लिया, तो इसमें भी अगेन इट्स नॉट अ रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ योर कैरेक्टर, इट्स अ रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ देयर कैरेक्टर. वो ऐसे ही थे. तो बस हमको
That was fantastic.
दो चीजों का ध्यान रखना है यहाँ पे कि अगर आपको रेड फ्लैग्स दिख रहे थे और आपने नहीं देखे, तो ये आपकी गलती. यहाँ पे आपको कुछ अपने ऊपर काम करने की जरूरत है. और दूसरा, कि कोई रेड फ्लैग्स नहीं थे, एवरीथिंग वाज गुड, एवरीथिंग वाज नॉर्मल, एवरीथिंग वाज परफेक्ट, नो प्रॉब्लम एनीथिंग, एंड देन आउट ऑफ द ब्लू यू गॉट चीटेड. तो वो तो जस्ट बैड लक, सिंपल बैड लक. चाहे कोई आप कितने भी एक्सपर्ट ड्राइवर हो, एक्सीडेंट हो गया तो हो गया, लाइक वो तो कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता, इट वाज एन एक्सीडेंट. पर सेम इंसान ने आपको आके दोबारा से चीट कर दिया, तो देन अगेन इट इज योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, क्योंकि आप फिर सीखे नहीं उससे कुछ. तो ये जो चीजों का ध्यान रखना है, बस दैट्स बेसिकली इट. ये ध्यान रखना है कि कहाँ दूसरे की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी और कहाँ मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी. हर चीज को अपने कंधे पे लेने की जरूरत नहीं.
Thank you.
थैंक्स अश्विनी. Anyone else who's been, so there's few people, Ekta, Hiral, CP, Asha, anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, hi Karma. I joined very late, but whatever I heard, it was, it made sense to me. So thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for joining, Hiral.
Thank you.
Cool. We'll wrap up today's call then. And we will see you all again next week. Thank you so much, guys, for joining.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Thanks everyone. Good
Thank
Have
night.
a great
Namaste.
evening. Good night.
Good night. Namaste.
And thank you.